Welcome, everyone, to this comprehensive journey through Kosovo Albanian history. I'm Sara, and with me today is Bardhyl, who will guide us through 6 centuries of struggle, resilience, and triumph. Bardhyl, we're starting with the legendary Battle of Kosovo in 1389. What really happened on that fateful day?
Sara, June 15th, 1389, a date forever etched in Balkan memory. Prince Lazar of Serbia faced Sultan Murad I in what became more than just a battle. Both leaders perished, but this opened centuries of Ottoman rule that would fundamentally reshape Kosovo's destiny.
So this was the beginning of Ottoman dominance. How did this change life for the Albanian population already living in Kosovo?
The transformation was gradual but profound, Sara. Kosovo's Albanian population, which had existed there for centuries, found new opportunities under Ottoman rule. Many gradually converted to Islam, not through force, but because it offered social and economic advantages. Muslim Albanians could rise in the Ottoman administration, serve in the military, and participate fully in imperial governance.
That's fascinating. So conversion was strategic rather than coerced?
Exactly. Christian Albanians also maintained their communities and traditions. The Ottoman millet system allowed different religious groups to govern their own affairs while remaining loyal to the Sultan.
What were the peak years of Albanian success within the Ottoman Empire?
The 16th and 17th centuries, Sara. This was when Albanian talent truly flourished at the highest levels. Sokolu Mehmed Pasha, born in Bosnia but of Albanian heritage, became Grand Vizier, essentially the prime minister of one of the world's greatest empires. Albanian warriors served as elite janissaries, Albanian administrators governed provinces, and Albanian merchants built trade networks across the Balkans.
Kosovo must have been quite prosperous then.
Absolutely. Pristina became a major administrative and trade center. The famous bazaars, the beautiful Ottoman mosques, the cultural flowering. Kosovo was integral to the empire's success, not a peripheral territory.
Fast forward to 1878, a critical year for Albanian nationalism. What sparked the Prizren League?
The Congress of Berlin, Sara. The great powers decided to carve up Albanian lands between Serbia, Montenegro, and Bulgaria without consulting the Albanian population. This was the catalyst. Albanian leaders from all 4 vilayets, Kosovo, Shkodra, Ioannina, and Monastir, gathered in Prizren and declared, never!
This was the birth of modern Albanian political consciousness?
Exactly. The Prizren League's famous slogan was Shqiperia per Shqiptar, Albania for Albanians. They established schools teaching in Albanian, promoted cultural identity, and for the first time created a unified political movement transcending tribal and regional divisions.
Then came the Balkan Wars of 1912-1913. How did they change everything for Kosovo Albanians?
Catastrophically, Sara. The Balkan League, Serbia, Bulgaria, Greece, and Montenegro defeated the Ottomans and partitioned the empire's European territories. Albania declared independence in Vlor on November 28, 1912, but Kosovo was awarded to Serbia at the London Conference.
That must have been devastating for Kosovo's Albanian population.
With a serious tone, imagine living for 5 centuries as part of the broader Albanian cultural sphere, and suddenly you're a minority in a Serbian state. Hundreds of thousands fled to Turkey, Albania, or America. Those who remained faced immediate pressure to assimilate or leave. The Serbian government began systematic colonization policies almost immediately.
What was life like for Kosovo Albanians during the interwar Yugoslav kingdom?
Dark years, Sara. King Alexander's regime implemented aggressive Serbianization policies. Albanian schools were closed, the language banned in public, traditional names prohibited. Serbian and Montenegrin colonists received confiscated Albanian land. The famous Albanian intellectual Hasan Pristina was assassinated in Thessaloniki in 1933 for opposing these policies.
How did people resist this systematic oppression?
Underground networks preserved Albanian culture.
Secret schools operated in private homes, cultural societies went underground, and many joined Kosovo Albanian emigres abroad who lobbied international opinion. The spirit of resistance never died, even under the most severe repression.
World War II ends, Tito comes to power. Did socialist Yugoslavia bring hope for Kosovo Albanians?
Initially, disappointment continued. Alexander Ranković, Tito's interior minister and security chief, maintained repressive policies. The UDBA secret police systematically arrested Albanians suspected of separatism or connections to Albania. Thousands were imprisoned without trial. But everything changed in 1968.
What made 1968 so pivotal?
Student demonstrations in Pristina, Sara. Young Kosovo Albanians, inspired by global student movements, demanded equal rights, Albanian language education, and republic status. The protests spread to mines, factories, across Kosovo. This forced Tito to remove Ranković and fundamentally reconsider Yugoslav nationality policy.
The 1974 Constitution? I've heard this was Kosovo's golden age?
Absolutely, Sarah. The 1974 Constitution granted Kosovo unprecedented autonomy within Yugoslavia. Kosovo got its own government, parliament, Supreme Court, national bank, even representation in Yugoslavia's collective presidency. The University of Pristina became a major institution, with Albanian as the language of instruction.
This must have transformed daily life completely.
Beyond recognition, Albanian became the official language alongside Serbian. Kosovo radio television broadcast in Albanian. Newspapers flourished. Albanian literature and arts experienced a renaissance. Federal investment poured in. New industries, infrastructure, housing. For the first time in over 6 decades, Kosovo Albanians felt they had a genuine future within Yugoslavia.
But this golden age didn't last. What happened in the 1980s?
The dream began crumbling in 1981, Sarah. Student protests demanding full republic status turned violent. Belgrade declared a state of emergency, arrested thousands. But the real catastrophe came with Slobodan Milošević's rise. His famous 1989 speech at Gazimistan, commemorating the 600th anniversary of the Kosovo battle, marked the beginning of the end.
How did Milošević destroy Kosovo's autonomy?
Systematically. In 1989, he revoked the 1974 Constitution, dissolved Kosovo's government and parliament. Albanian was banned from schools and administration. Police, teachers, doctors, judges, all fired if they were Albanian. It was apartheid, pure and simple. Over 100,000 Albanian civil servants lost their jobs overnight.
How did Kosovo Albanians survive this apartheid system?
Through remarkable ingenuity and unity, Sarah. Ibrahim Rugova led a peaceful resistance movement that created parallel institutions. Underground schools operated in private homes. Imagine teaching 300,000 children in basements and garages. They established a shadow healthcare system, collected voluntary taxes, and even elected a parallel parliament.
This shadow state must have required incredible organization.
It did. Kosovo Albanian doctors treated patients secretly, teachers taught without salaries, and intellectuals preserved culture underground. The international community ignored their plight, so they created their own state within a state. But by the mid-1990s, it became clear that peaceful resistance alone would never achieve liberation.
When did the situation turn violent? Enter the Kosovo Liberation Army.
The KLA emerged in 1996-1997, Sarah. Young Kosovo Albanians, frustrated by a decade of peaceful resistance that achieved nothing, turned to armed struggle. The turning point came in March 1998 with the Drenica offensive. Serbian forces attacked villages suspected of supporting the KLA. In Prekaz, they killed Adam Yashari, the KLA commander, along with his entire extended family, 58 people, including children.
How did the international community respond?
Initially, they condemned both sides equally. But the Reček massacre in January 1999 changed everything. 45 Albanian civilians were executed by Serbian forces. When international monitors confirmed it was a deliberate massacre, NATO finally prepared for intervention.
After 78 days of NATO bombing, Serbian forces withdrew. What came next?
Reconstruction and hope, Sara. Kosovo came under UN administration through UNMIK. For the first time in a decade, Albanian children could attend school in their own language. Refugees returned, institutions were rebuilt from scratch. But the ultimate question remained: final status.
How did Kosovo achieve independence?
Years of negotiations. The Ahtisaari plan proposed supervised independence, but Serbia rejected it. Finally, on February 17, 2008, Kosovo's parliament declared independence. Within hours, the United States and major European powers recognized the new state.
Looking back at this 6th-century journey, what strikes you most?
The resilience, Sara. Through Ottoman rule, Yugoslav oppression, war, and reconstruction, the Albanian identity in Kosovo not only survived, but ultimately triumphed. Today's Kosovo represents the fulfillment of centuries of struggle for self-determination.
The London Conference of 1913, this sealed Kosovo's fate for nearly a century. How did the great powers make this decision?
Cynical real politics, Sara. Austria-Hungary supported Albanian independence to weaken Serbia, but Russia backed Serbian claims to Kosovo as Old Serbia. Britain and France prioritized containing Austrian influence. Kosovo Albanians had no voice in these negotiations. Their homeland was traded like a commodity. The conference created an Albania without its historical heartland, and a Serbia with a massive Albanian population it never wanted to integrate.
World War I brought unimaginable suffering to Kosovo. Tell us about those years.
Catastrophic, Sara. Serbian forces retreated through Kosovo in 1915, followed by Austrian and Bulgarian occupations. Each army treated Kosovo Albanians as enemy collaborators. Entire villages were burned, families executed on suspicion. Typhus and cholera epidemics swept through refugee camps. Some estimates suggest Kosovo lost 1/3 of its population during the war, through violence, disease, and mass migration. The Albanian intellectual Isa Balatini was killed by Serbian forces in 1916, simply for advocating Albanian rights.
The 1920s and 1930s? Under King Alexander? This was systematic cultural destruction, wasn't it?
Absolutely, Sara. Alexander's integral Yugoslavism meant erasing all non-Serbian identities. The colonization law of 1922 granted confiscated Albanian land to Serbian and Montenegrin settlers. Albanian schools were replaced with Serbian ones, the language banned from public use. Even traditional Albanian names were prohibited. If your name was Agron or Ilir, you had to change it to Miloš or Petar. Cultural societies, newspapers, any expression of Albanian identity became illegal. It was cultural genocide through legal means.
World War II brought new chaos to Kosovo. How did different occupations affect the Albanian population?
It was complicated, Sara. Initially, many Kosovo Albanians welcomed Italian occupation in 1941 because Italy united Kosovo with Albania proper, the first time since 1912 that Albanians lived in one state. Schools reopened in Albanian, cultural life revived. But when Germany took over in 1943, things deteriorated. Albanian SS units were formed, creating bitter divisions. Yugoslav partisans, dominated by Serbs, treated Albanian areas as enemy territory. By 1944, Kosovo was devastated by competing armies, ethnic violence, and conflicting loyalties.
The 1981 protests? These shattered the Golden Age, didn't they? What exactly happened?
March 11, 1981, Sara. It started with student protests at the University of Pristina over poor living conditions in dormitories. But it quickly escalated into political demands for Kosovo to become Yugoslavia's 7th republic. The demonstrations spread across Kosovo.
Podujevo, Jakova, Peja. Belgrade declared a state of emergency, brought in tanks, arrested over 1,000 people. 11 protesters died. This marked the beginning of the end for Kosovo's autonomy and the revival of Serbian nationalism.
Milošević's 1989 Gazimestin speech. This was the point of no return, wasn't it?
June 28, 1989, Sarah. Exactly 600 years after the Battle of Kosovo. 1 million Serbs gathered on the Kosovo battlefield to hear Milošević declare that Serbs would never again be beaten. He spoke of battles and enemies, while simultaneously revoking Kosovo's constitution. The symbolism was clear. Medieval Serbian claims trumped contemporary Albanian rights. The crowd chanted, "Kosovo is Serbian," as Albanian autonomy died. It was political theater designed to inflame nationalism and justify the coming oppression.
Ibrahim Rugova, the Gandhi of the Balkans. How did he organize peaceful resistance?
Rugova was remarkable, Sarah. A literature professor turned political leader, he advocated complete nonviolence. In 1991, Kosovo Albanians held an illegal referendum. 99% voted for independence, but Belgrade ignored it. Rugova organized elections in 1992, creating parallel government structures. The Democratic League collected voluntary taxes, ran underground schools, maintained hospitals. He met with international leaders, lobbied for recognition, always wearing his signature stone scarf. For 8 years, he prevented armed conflict while building the foundations of a future state.
March 24th, 1999. NATO begins bombing Yugoslavia. After years of diplomacy, why did it come to this?
The Rambouillet talks had failed, Sarah. NATO gave Milošević an ultimatum: stop the ethnic cleansing or face military intervention. But instead of complying, Serbian forces launched Operation Horseshoe, a systematic deportation of Kosovo's Albanian population. Within weeks, 800,000 people fled to Albania, Macedonia, and Montenegro. The international community watched in horror as Europe witnessed its worst refugee crisis since World War II. NATO had no choice but military intervention to stop genocide.
June 1999, Serbian forces withdraw, UNMIK takes control? What was it like rebuilding from zero?
Extraordinary challenges, Sara. Kosovo had no functioning government, destroyed infrastructure, a traumatized population. UNMIK became the world's most comprehensive nation-building experiment. They had to create everything: courts, police, customs, currency, even traffic rules. Bernard Kouchner, the first UNMIK head, called it state-building from scratch. Kosovo Albanians returned from refugee camps to find homes destroyed, businesses looted. But there was incredible energy, people determined to build a democratic, multi-ethnic society. The challenge was balancing Albanian aspirations with international law and Serbian opposition.
February 17, 2008. Kosovo declares independence. After 6 centuries of struggle, what did this moment mean?
Everything, Sarah. At 3:49 p.m., Prime Minister Hashim Thaçi read the declaration. Kosovo is an independent and sovereign state. Crowds erupted in celebration across Pristina. The Albanian flag flew alongside the new Kosovo flag, blue with 6 stars and a map representing all citizens. Within hours, the United States, Britain, France, Germany recognized the new state. President Bush called it Kosovo's Independence Day.
Reflecting back at this extraordinary journey from 1389 to 2008, what's your final reflection?
With deep emotion and hope. It's about the triumph of the human spirit, Sarah. 600 years of foreign rule, Ottoman, Serbian, Yugoslav, could not extinguish Albanian identity in Kosovo. Through cultural suppression, economic marginalization, political persecution, even ethnic cleansing. The dream of freedom survived. Today's Kosovo represents not just Albanian liberation, but the power of peaceful resistance, international intervention for human rights, and the belief that all peoples deserve self-determination. As they say, Liria Skachmim, freedom has no price.